When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
Hello. Hey, we're so excited to welcome you to our next edition of Book Buzz. How's everybody doing today?
Woohoo! I'm happy to be here. Hope you guys are too.
I'm Jamie Wright. I'm the librarian at Jolie Johnson Elementary.
And I am Kristen Fournier. I'm the librarian at Forest North Elementary. Let's get buzzing. Still workshopping that.
That's right. We're so excited, as always, to be sharing books that are available at both the Jolie Johnson and Forest North libraries. And today I'm going to start with one of my very, very favorites. This book is called Front Desk. It was written by Kelly Yang, and it's kind of it's autobiographical, but it is a fiction story. And I have to tell you, I am not in love with the cover art of this book because to me, it looks like it's meant for younger readers than the story actually is. So to me, the cover doesn't really fit the story so much, but you know, can't judge a book by its cover. And I'm glad I did because it's amazing. So this is about Mia, and she is moving to the US, to California specifically from China. And she pictures it's going to be all cheeseburgers and Disneyland every weekend. And
cheeseburgers in Disneyland.
Right? Like, what a life. Cheeseburgers in Disneyland. And instead, her family is having to work really hard. And you can see that it's called Front Desk. And they end up managing a motel, which is a lot of hard work because in a motel, you have to do laundry and you have to be at the front desk. So when Mia's not at school, she helps her parents and she manages customers who come in. So they meet a lot of people and they see a lot of injustice. And the thing I love best about Mia is that she does not give up. She just keeps trying to problem solve things when she sees injustice, even though it's really hard. Like she goes to school in clothes that her mom makes for her because they're the cheapest clothes. And she's kind of embarrassed because she's in 5th grade and people are comparing what they're wearing. And it has so many great details. And it shows just a really, really good story of somebody who is dealing with stuff that they don't necessarily want to tell everybody else about.
Right.
So I love this book. And you've read it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know our 5th graders have read it too. It's a great one.
Yeah. And I think that within the story, there's so much going on, like the different people there are a few people they call the regulars who live at the motel.
Right.
And there's an African-American man who's super nice to Mia and he experiences racism. Her mom experiences racism. And just the way that Mia refuses to let that stop her is really, really inspiring and impressive. And it also makes you really angry. So while you're reading the book, you just get really frustrated. Like, this should not be happening. And then she gets back up and it's just, I love it. Love that.
That's awesome. And there's a sequel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Three Keys. Which also I think has a motel connection. So
yeah. I had to read it to find out more about that, or maybe on a next episode of Book Buzz.
Yes, and if anybody's following authors on social media, Kelly Yang is just lovely. She's just got this sparkling personality. You just want good things to happen.
I was thinking the same thing. I love her Twitter. I think her Twitter is really great. All right, well, I've got one for us. It's an older book. It's not as cool and hip as Front Desk, but this book is so silly and so funny, and I love it. It's called Pete's a Pizza. And I even like how the cover is kind of a joke because, you know, if you say, I'm going to eat a piece of pizza, it sounds like that. Pizza. So it's written by William Steig. It came out in 1998, but we do have a copy at Forest North and at Jolie Johnson. And basically the way it starts is that Pete is in a really bad mood because it's raining outside. And his dad feels bad for him that he can't go out and play. So he decides he's going to turn Pete into a pizza. Like basically the whole book is a game of pretend. So it cracks me up. Here, I'll show you a picture of it. Here he is laying on the table like a piece of dough about to get turned into it. So it's just sort of funny. Like they'll do regular pizza things. Like here he is, he's like tossing the dough up in the air, you know, like people do when they make pizza. So some of it's funny because that like you're tossing a person in the air. It's not really a pizza. But then some of it's funny, like he'll start talking to him in the middle, like, how about some pepperoni pizza? And Pete's like, I'm a pizza. I can't talk right now. So it just cracks me up how they keep going back and forth between it. And it's also like, I feel like it's a great way. It gives you a game to play. Like, I want to play this game with my kids. I want to turn them into pizzas. I don't know. I'm not strong enough to like throw them up in the air, but skip that part, do the other parts. And then your couch is the oven. You get baked on your couch. So you get to go take a little couch nap for a minute, which I'm always a proponent of. So that's Pizza. It has a built-in game. And it's just a fun little read aloud. If you're like a 4th or 5th grader too, super easy that you could read to like your little brothers and sisters, and it's a fun thing to do like if you're babysitting or something.
That's what I was thinking too. What a great book to read at home together with your family. Super fun.
Absolutely.
Speaking of super fun, we have a really, really cool feature. We're so excited to share with everybody just the idea that everybody reads. And so we have a very special guest. Michael Jones is here with us to share a book with you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. My name is Michael Jones, and I'm the textbook warehouse manager for the whole district. We are currently in the warehouse right now, surrounded by thousands of books. Today, I just wanted to share with you a great book that's right up my alley called Tools Rule. I use all sorts of tools every day, so this fits me perfectly. It's about a group of tools that work together as a team to finish a project. It shows that it can be more fun when working together to get it done. I also have another book here called Amazing Facts. I love being surprised by new and interesting facts that you would never expect. Like, did you know kangaroos can't walk backwards? Crazy. I would also like to recommend looking into other nonfiction books to gain knowledge and learn about many different fields, such as animals, outer space, and history. Remember to always explore and get your brain full. Thank you so much, and happy reading.
Michael, thank you so much. So we have to admit, Michael was somebody when we were dreaming about starting this segment on our show that we said, what if we could find someone in the textbook department that actually uses a forklift in their daily job? And Michael was so nice to like get on the forklift and go film his book recommendation. How cool is that he gets to do that every day? And I love that his books, just talked about like what he's passionate about in his job. So thank you so much for doing that for us.
We're definitely grateful to share our love of books with everybody in our district and beyond. So yeah, that's amazing. Thanks, Michael. And I also am excited to share this book. This is another one of my very, very favorites. This is I Am Every Good Thing. It is new to our library, and I can't keep it on the shelves because teachers just keep wanting to share it, and I keep wanting to read it over and over. It's Derek Barnes and Gordon C. James, authors of the Ode to Fresh Cut, which was our Bluebonnet, one of our Bluebonnets last year. And this book is so great. It's got such a positive message about all the different parts of your life. I bookmarked a couple of really great illustrations. This one is, I am a nonstop ball of energy, a go-getter, a difference maker, a leader. And I love that expression on his face. And it shows just different parts of your life, being with your family. And it has this great metaphor, right? I am every good thing. And then it talks about, I'm a grand slam. And I love this one. I am a highlight reel of magnificence.
Yes.
It works so well for teaching metaphors. So even though this is a picture book, it definitely works for older readers as well. But of course, it's got all these really great illustrations and people coming together. So it works for younger readers. So I love books that work for everybody so well. And this is just a beautiful one that I keep coming back to.
I love that. I also love books that a kindergarten can experience in a completely different way than a 5th grader, but they're both completely valid and excellent. You know, that's really difficult to do for picture book writers, but some of them just pull it off so flawlessly. It's amazing.
And the writing in that book is so well done that you just kind of have to stop and look at the phrase and go, wow,
yes,
that's really good,
it's art.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it could inspire some really good writing from our students.
I agree. And sometimes metaphors can be so cheesy, like it's hard to find really well-written metaphors. So that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that connection for our teachers yet too. That's very brilliant. Speaking of brilliant and speaking of cool stuff, it's time for another fan art.
Woohoo, fan art.
So I've got one today. Check this out. This is a piece of fan art from Chloe. She is in 5th grade, which kind of blows my mind because Chloe's been at Forest North since she was in kindergarten. And she did kind of a different route. I love this. It looks kind of slimy, and it's Honey from the Book Buzz.
Oh,
spilling
that's so
over. That could
clever.
be our new logo. I know, I love it. So thank you so much, Chloe, for sharing that with us and everything you do for Forest North. We love you.
That's great, Chloe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's so cool. Speaking of things I love, like Chloe, I got this other book that I want to share with you. It's called I Haiku You instead of I Love You. Isn't it cute?
That is adorable.
It's so tiny. I love it. It's written and illustrated by Betsy Snyder. Even the back cover is adorbs. And I came across this book because second grade is studying poetry right now. And the second grade teachers had asked me to record on YouTube some different books. And we love Wonton, you know that book? It's like a cat haiku book. But I was like, let me try to find a few other ones. And this one's so cute. It's like a friendship book, but it also seems really nice just in time for Valentine's Day. And just different kinds of love that you can have. This one hits me as a mom right here. It says, little by little, I love watching you grow up, each and every inch. And then here's the little kid growing up, going to school for the first time on the bus. Achy, heartbreak, love. Miss you so much it hurts, love. Please hurry home, love. So I was thinking about it as a mom, but I think it's the little puppy. The puppy wants his little girl to come home. It's so sweet. So it's just different kinds of love that you can feel for somebody, and they're all written in haiku. So it's 5 syllables on the first line, 7 syllables on the second line, and 5 syllables on the third line. And a lot of times I think haiku is usually about nature, but these are all just different situations where you love somebody and care about others. So it's a good little read.
What a great SEL experience too. You know, I know sometimes when I introduce books that have anything to do with love at a certain age group in elementary, we get, ew, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I like that this one isn't like that, like, will you marry me kind of love. It's like,
no,
you know, your cat or your dog misses you when you go, or your best friend at school. One of them's about loving sandwiches, or this one's about loving s'mores. Who doesn't love s'mores, right? So there's so many things you can write haikus about. And I was thinking, like, what if some of our like, this is a great thing you could do at school or you could do at home. You can write haikus with Valentine's coming up and write it to different people that you love or that you care about. I mean, you could make your own book of haikus. You could write back and forth with different people. We could write our own book, Miss Wright. What do you think?
I'm definitely up for that.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. So
I think that it's also really good because exploring the different types of love we have in our relationships with our with different people, even if we wouldn't call them a love relationship, I just think the more that we can name that and be aware of our feelings, that's a really good thing for everybody, because sometimes we don't slow down and think about how we're connected and how we, maybe appreciation is a better word. But
yeah, like gratitude, just grateful.
Yeah, and if we stopped and we did some writing about it, sometimes that really focuses on how much we appreciate the different people we connect to in our lives. And I think this book could be a great vehicle for that.
I love that idea. Good thinking. Cool.
Well, I have a connection to that book a little bit because this one is Dragon's Fat Cat. This is actually a series, so there are a couple of different ones. But this one is written by Dave Pilkey, who a lot of us know from Dog Man and Captain Underpants and Ricky Ricotta's Mighty Robot, and I love the Cat Kong and Godzilla books he has. It's got these really short chapters. Like, see, this part is chapter 1, and then we get to chapter 2, Life with Cat. But it's really sweet because Dragon finds a cat, and the humor is more, and it's not as subversive as some of the other books he does. The humor is more subtle. Like, he makes him a new bed, but, like, you know, of course, the cat is taking over his bed, and then he talks about the problems he has with trying to train the cat, and he's got a sign that says roll over, and yeah, the cat's not doing that. And he doesn't know what to feed him, so he makes him, you know, ice cream sundaes and whatnot. And he's got this whole situation on the floor that's unpleasant.
Oh,
so
no.
The text doesn't completely, the text is very sensitive and straight. And then the illustrations are just kind of unexpected, which I think a lot of our readers are really going to like. So great series. And I'm so excited to have something newer for our younger readers that they can read independently, but you could also read it with a friend. So.
Absolutely. And Miss Wright, will you show the top corner of that a little closer to the camera?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So see up there, guys, that little acorn. So these acorn books, I've never seen anything like it in all my years as a librarian. Scholastic has just started this a couple years ago, and they're all like that, like really fun, cool books you can read by yourself when you first start reading. And I just can't say enough about those. I haven't found any of the series that I didn't think were amazing. So when we have a book fair or when you're shopping, if you see that little acorn up at the top, it's like literary gold, in my opinion.
Yes, Yes, it's so nice to have a series for that. That's new and modern and relatable.
I totally agree. And hello, if you can't read Dogman yet, you can read these. Like what more could you want? It's amazing. Okay, so I want to share my screen from my last book. I have an ebook that I want to share with you guys today. And it's on Mac and Via. Will you tell me when, can you see it, Miss Wright?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay, good. I always get a little nervous. I need a little confirmation. So everybody at Forest North and Jolie Johnson has access to Mac and Via. If you need a reminder, the way that you log in, your username is your S number, but no S. So it's just the 6-digit number for your username. And then your password is the exact same thing as your username. It's not a different thing. It's the exact same thing. It's just that 6-digit number with no S again. And once you're in there, we have thousands of books that you can read. But this one that I wanted to show you today, it's a new book. It just came out in 2020. I've seen some things where it's getting some buzz for some of the awards that are going to be in a few weeks. And it is called Black is a Rainbow Color. Oops, I have it all the way at the end because I was reading it. I recorded this yesterday. The publisher gave me permission to record it. And it's going to be on my YouTube channel in a couple days for Forest North. So what's interesting about this book is it talks about how maybe when you look through the colors of the rainbow, you don't see black on there, but black also has so many definitions and so many things that are beautiful about it as a culture. So there's lots of references on here. Here's a great example. Black is the robe on Thurgood's back. So here's a super famous American. We've got Thurgood Marshall. He was the first Black Supreme Court justice. And they're showing that his judge robes were black. Another great example that I really liked is it talks about how identifying, here's Martin Luther King, different civil rights movements that we've had. Here's what I wanted to show you. So you see there is no black in rainbows, no black in green or blue, but in my box of crayons, black is a rainbow too. So identifying as a black person also can mean that your skin is a variety of different shades. You can look lots of different ways. And I think that's important for us to say to kids. And I think even grownups need to hear that message as well. So here you can see a lot of different people that identify as black, but they don't all look exactly the same. So, sometimes you can't anticipate what someone identifies as a race just by looking at them. So it's important to get to know people and talk to people. Kind of like you were saying that old adage earlier, you can't judge a book by its cover. Even more true with human beings. So I love that. And then I just love that this book, there's one level you can read it where you can understand what it's talking about, but there's lots of references of things that are going on. Like you can get into this deeper if you would like as a jumping off point to talk about Martin Luther King and what his dream was. And then if you're not ready for that, or if you don't have a lot of time for that right now, you can just read the book straight through and just keep going. And it's just beautiful. The illustrations are gorgeous. The writing is beautiful. And there's so many references in different ways. Here's another one. Black are the birds in cages that sing. So, it references like that Maya Angelou book. So there's tons of directions that you can take it and things that you can share with it. I also forgot because I wasn't back at the very beginning yet. Let me go all the way back to the beginning. Here we go. It's written by Angela Joy and it was illustrated by Equa Holmes. Equa is such a cool name. I looked it up. She says it's like aqua, but you say Equa, which is really neat. So that's Black is a Rainbow Color.
Okay, I feel like this book would be a really great one for teachers to use in classrooms and just read a couple of pages at a time and then really delve into what is the historical connection.
Yes,
what
there's
does that
so
mean
much
to
there.
you personally. So instead of just reading it straight through in one shot, which you could do because the illustrations are amazing, but you can really, really slow down and separate it and talk about it, which is the best thing for books because
Absolutely.
we want to slow down and think about them and talk about what they mean to us. So what a great vehicle for that.
Yes, there's really great back matter in the back too, where it's got an appendix that lists like, okay, on this page when it says that's what this is a reference to. So if some of them, if you weren't sure or the names of people, or you thought that sounds familiar to me, but I'm not exactly sure what it is, it'll list, it gives a couple sentences about it. So you could do more research. And it also has a couple of songs listed that are referenced in the text as well. It's got all of the lyrics to the song. So it's a really special book.
We have a print copy of that book in our library, but if you were looking at it on Mac and Via, that would be a really great place to just click on over to your research databases and find out more details about in our biography section.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Miss Wright, I just love doing this. This is so fun.
There are so many good books. We're just sharing them 3 at a time, but we're going to make it through all these really, really good options that we have for our students. And it's so exciting to get a chance to share these and to see them being checked out and appreciated. So thank you, everybody who is watching and who's reading. And we love that. Keep it up.
I agree. Thank you so much. And we've gotten a couple of, we should plug our press that we've received. We got featured by the Round Rock ISD Public Relations Department, and then another website, The Patch, right? Is that what it's called? thepatch.com picked up our story, and they wrote an article about us as well. Maybe we can put links to those stories in our YouTube comments. So if you want to check those out, you can. And we're just so excited that our show is, catching on and people are listening. So thank you so much to everybody that's supporting our show. We really appreciate it.
And we love talking about books. And we love that you're reading books. And as always, that we hope that you find something wonderful to read today and every day.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.
When you need a good book and everybody does, tune in to the Book Buzz.